History, legacy, and innovation goes hand in hand. Terry Kidwell made history many times over. From his signature design of the first kicktail board, which allowed him to ride fakie and switch, and helped develop his signature style. He was the father of freestyle skiing. His input and drive, quite honestly, saved the sport from going down the racing track and being caged into that barrier, because he brought the skate style from California to the snow. And if you watch the highlights of Terry Kidwell riding, you see the flair and what it did to mainstream. Now, when we're talking about snowboarding at this time, and to think how far did it go in such a short period, Juicy Fruit, of course, did a major commercial featuring him and Hall of Famer Craig Kelly in the commercial. And that just shows you how corporations were coming to support this new wild sport called snowboarding. Really over a decade before the X Games, Mountain Dew, Red Bull, and all that. To think that these kids were getting nationally recognized by major corporations is no small thing. Terry Kidwell's name goes hand in hand with the legends of snowboarding, from Jake Burton, Tom Sims, Sherman Poppin, all of which are in the Hall of Fame, and rightly so, Terry Kidwell. His skate style tricks were amazing. His flair, and what I was so impressed with, all of the hiking, the relentless hiking, going back up to do it again and again and again. From signature boards to mastering tricks, from backcountry to resorts, to breaking down the barriers when resorts wouldn't even allow snowboarding because they didn't know what it was. The father of freestyle snowboarding, a multiple-time world champion. Sit back, kick back, and watch this.
While there were many pioneers of snowboarding, few changed its direction like Terry Kidwell. Known as the father of freestyle riding, his innovative vision in the 70s and 80s set the stage for what was to come, defining the terrain, the equipment, and the style that still characterizes the sport today. Kidwell grew up in Tahoe City, California. In 1977, he rode a friend's adapted snow water ski. As creative skateboarders, they quickly built a jump, a simple innovation that would become a blueprint for Kidwell's career. With limited access to lifts, they built a half-pipe at a local trash dump. With encouragement from fellow pioneer Tom Sims, Kidwell pushed further, using the free-spirited creativity of skateboarding to map the future of snowboarding. While early competitions were ski-style timed courses, Kidwell pursued a different path, hand-digging half-pipes into the snow. His creative style and natural athletic talent made Kidwell tough to beat. Kidwell and Sims joined forces in 1985, creating the first snowboard that functioned equally well ridden in either direction. It featured an upturned tail for riding fakie, a wider stance, and it used a binding with a high back. It became the sport's first signature pro freestyle snowboard, the Terry Kidwell Roundtail 1550 FE. Kidwell became the focal point for media. He was one of the first snowboarders featured in the annual Warren Miller film. The image of him flying off Wine Rock in Soda Springs is one of the most published photos in snowboard history. In 1987, he appeared in the seminal Tom Sims film, This Is Snowboarding, together with future Hall of Famers Craig Kelly and Sean Palmer. In a legendary session at the Donner Quarterpipe, he pioneered McTwists, hand plants, and other skateboard-driven tricks like his Method Air. Everyone wanted to be like Terry Kidwell. In the mid-'80s, he won the Halfpipe World Championship 4 times in a row. In 1985, he was second to Sims in the inaugural Mount Baker Bank Slalom, and he took the halfpipe title at the U.S. Open debut in 1988. In 1987, Kidwell starred in a Wrigley Juicy Fruit Gum commercial that brought snowboarding to the minds of the country with new tricks the public had never seen. Kidwell earned many honors in his career, but was most touched by the accolades bestowed upon him by his peers with a Transworld Snowboarding Lifetime Achievement Award. In recognition of his pioneering spirit and his vision for snowboarding, Terry Kidwell is inducted into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame.
Terry Kidwell, having been elected by the 15 million skiers and snowboarders in America, we hereby bestow upon you on this night in Big Sky, Montana, our country's highest snow sport award, the Medal of Honor, and confer upon you from this day forward, Saturday, March 25th, 2023, induction into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, where your accomplishments will forever be remembered. I'm the mama of snowboard snowboarders. Love this moment.
Thank you, everyone. Hey, there's nobody more fitting to give me the most important award of my career. Bob Klein's been my best friend for 45 years. We've taken thousands and thousands of runs together over the years. Thanks, Bob. Hey, thanks, everyone. It's an honor to receive this award tonight. It's been a long ride since I took my first runs back in the late 70s. The 80s was an amazing time to be a snowboarder. Snowboarding was changing fast from snowboards being designed to ride powder only to boards being designed to ride hard-packed snow to gain ski area acceptance. Snowboarding had three major innovations in the mid-80s that changed snowboarding forever. The high-back binding, which gave snowboarders the ultimate control on heel-side turns for hard-pack carving. The kicktail snowboard that I designed allowed riders to ride switch stance and do tricks that weren't possible before. And then we had the vertical lam construction that gave companies the ability to control the flex of a snowboard for different styles of riding. So my family moved to Tahoe City in 1977 when I was 14 years old, and a year later I dropped in on a snowboard for the first time. Snowboarding in the early days was promoted as a sport to surf on the snow. I always looked at it as a way to skateboard on the snow and do skate tricks that I couldn't do on my skateboard. We found the Tahoe City halfpipe in 1979, and the first hit was like riding a skateboard ramp. The wall was about 11 feet high with a couple feet of vert, and the feeling of doing big backside airs, hand plants, and 540s was amazing. Tom Sims was so inspired by the Tahoe City halfpipe that he held snowboarding's first halfpipe event at the 1983 Sims World Championships at Soda Springs, California. For 4 straight years in the 80s, I won every halfpipe contest that I entered, including 7 World Championship titles. But when I look back at my career, I'm most proud of having snowboarding's first pro model, the Sims Kidwell 1550 Roundtail Freestyle board that was released in 1985. I'd been dreaming of riding a twin-tip snowboard pretty much since the day I started riding. It took about 5 or 6 years to get there. But I'm also pretty stoked to have snowboarding's most published magazine photo, which was the Wine Rock jump while we were filming for Warren Miller's Ski Country movie. And I'd like to thank Tom Sims for giving me my start and by sponsoring me in 1984. Riding for Sims Snowboards in the 80s was an amazing time in my life. I'd like to give a big shout out to Tina Bassich and Shannon Dunn. Congratulations. Congratulations on being the first female riders to be inducted into the Snowboard Hall of Fame. These ladies inspired generations of women riders to get up on the mountain and go ride. Thank you for everything you did for snowboarding. And I can't say enough about my parents' support during my career. They bought me my first snowboard in 1979. It was a winter stick roundtail with bungee straps for bindings. And a few years later, they bought me a Sims 1500 FE with a binding system that held your toe and heel down really good on the board for hardpack riding at ski resorts. It was incredible to be able to get up on the mountain and not have to hike up on Mount Rose as much and get some chairlift rides in. It was awesome. But I mean, that's pretty much it for me, and I thank everybody for being here tonight, and have a great evening.